Hey everyone, welcome to Infinite Realms. Today I'm going to review Invincible, Invincible, and Invincible Omni-Man. I got these two on sale. It was a really good deal, $15 each, and I really wanted them as characters in somewhere on my shelf space. That's it. I mean, I just really like Invincible. I don't want every figure they make of Invincible. That's pretty far from my goal. But I do want, good, decent figures of Omni Man and Invincible. So, first and foremost, I need to point out they do come with stands and they're pretty much useless. They can't hold the weight of the figures, they'll topple over, and I think I may have discovered accidentally that the big stand is actually for the baseball, which is weird. I don't get that. You get the stand just for the baseball. It can't hold Invincible. And I know it's not going to hold Omni Man. He's bigger. So let's go over accessories for just a bit. And with Omni Man, you get grippy hands to grip, I guess. You get these flat hands, I'm supposing, for flying poses. You get a baseball throwing hand, which is kind of cool. And you get to redo that scene with them playing catch in the air. It's kind of cool scene. And of course, a glove hand, a baseball glove hand. And J.K. Simmons' really pissed off face. I know, it's like you realize that's J.K. Simmons. You kind of can't unsee it, can you? I can't anyway. For Invincible, we get this baseball that is obviously going through the stratosphere. We get a regular baseball. Sorry, camera didn't want to focus on that. We get this big old piece of rubble, which is kind of cool. We get some sorry. We get some flat hands, I suppose, for flying poses. Did neglect to say fist on Omni Man. He got those on Invincible too. They're on the figure. And of course, a gloved hand to catch with. These kind of grasping hands here that they can't really grab the ball very well, so I'm not sure what they are besides with the rubble. And then his more stern, not angry, but kind of concentrating face. So a decent complement of accessories for both. Obviously, Invincible comes with more because he's smaller. He's a kid. I mean, he's going to be smaller, and Omni Man's really big. So the thing on the head swaps is even heating up the figures, I really couldn't get the heads to come off. So I don't think I could have got them to go back on again. So I didn't switch out the heads at all. So that is it's not a good thing. I'll say it that way. It's not a good thing. Definitely not. So these figures do have single joints, unfortunate, but they do have thigh cuts, and they do have a weird hip system. It reminds me of the old DC Universe Classics hip setup. It's kind of like a T crotch, and then a little hook that you can, not a hook, but a little thing you can kind of get a wider stance on the legs. Doesn't do great on any kind of side kick or anything, but it'll get you that wide stance. And again, I wanted these guys just because I wanted representation of these two somewhere on the shelf. Now, these are from DC Direct, so they're in a 7-inch scale, so they're not going to scale well with your Marvel Legends, as we can see here with Spider-Man and Iron Man. So, Now, you might be able to fudge Omni-Man if you say he's one of those taller dudes, like, Sentry or somebody like that. Then he might work, but you're gonna have trouble with Invincible since he's a teenager. He's not really that big of a guy. He just has super strength and speed and invulnerability. With all that in mind, I mean, are they bad figures? Nah, I mean they're not. They're not great figures either. I mean, if you're a fan of Invincible and you really like to have Invincible on your shelf somewhere, I'd say get them, especially as cheap as they are on sale at Amazon right now. Uh, they're enjoyable, that's for sure. They're not going to fit in with your other superheroes figures. Maybe McFarlane. I don't collect McFarlane. I made the exception for these guys because I do like this story. I like the dynamic between father and son in the story. It's really cool, and so I just wanted some representation of it in somewhere. All in all, I mean, and I'm going to rate them both the same. I'll give them like 3.5 stars. They do the job, and they're okay. They're passable, but they're not great. It's not something you know I'd go out of my way for, and it's not something I would have paid full price for. One thing I will give them is even though they have pins in the single joints, they hide the pins well. Uh, they the pins are not obvious. It's I mean, if you go looking for them, you're gonna find them. That much is true. But even when you start looking for them, I mean, they are camouflaged into the costumes much better than a lot of companies do. So that's my rundown of Invincible with Omni Man and Invincible. This is the only two I plan to buy. Again, just those are the only two characters I want. I don't hate any of the other characters. It's just I don't really desire having a full collection of Invincible in my collection. Just Invincible and Omni Man. Okay, that'll wrap up Infinite Realms. This is a quick one. I just wasn't inspired on these at all. I'll just admit it. I'd just be very blunt. I wasn't feeling anything towards these guys other than their representations on my shelf. So there we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.